Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to the Learning Lab, the podcast where we learn together, laugh together, and sometimes say totally wrong things together. I'm James, and as always, I am so happy you're here with us today.
And I'm Jenny. Hi, everyone. Whether you're listening on your commute, doing the dishes, or lying in bed pretending you're being productive, we see you, we love you, you are welcome here.
Oh my goodness, Jenny, that is so specific. Are you speaking from experience?
I plead the fifth, James. I plead the fifth.
Okay, before we jump in today, can we just ask one small, tiny, very easy favor? If you are watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button right now. It's free, it takes 1 second, and it helps us reach more learners just like you all over the world, and that means so much to us.
Yes, and if you're listening on a podcast app, hit that follow button. Same idea, same love. We put a lot of heart into these episodes, and every single subscriber really does make a difference for us. Okay, now let's get into the good stuff.
Today's topic, and I am genuinely excited about this one. We are talking about how to feel confident when speaking English. This is something so many people struggle with, and honestly, I get it. I really, truly get it.
It's one of the most common things that learners talk about, right? It's not always about grammar or vocabulary. So many people know a lot of English. They have studied for years, but the moment they open their mouth in front of another person, everything disappears.
Everything just poof, gone. Like, where did all the words go? It's like your brain just decides, you know what? Not today. And I think that happens to almost everyone at some point, even people who are quite advanced in English.
Exactly. And I think what's important to say from the very beginning is a lack of confidence when speaking is not a sign that you are bad at English, or that you are not smart, or that you can't do it. It is a completely normal human experience to feel nervous when you speak in a language that is not your first language.
Yes, and Jenny, I want to hear your thoughts on this. I think speaking in a second language is genuinely one of the bravest things a person can do, because you are being vulnerable in front of other people, you know? You are saying, I might make mistakes, and I'm doing it anyway.
That's a beautiful way to put it, James. And there is actually research that supports this idea. One study found that the emotional experience of speaking a second language is much more intense than speaking your first language because your brain is working so much harder all at the same time. You're thinking about words, you're thinking about grammar, you're thinking about pronunciation, and you're also trying to have a real conversation. That is a lot.
That is a lot. And when I hear that, honestly, I just want to give every English learner in the world a big hug and say, you are doing something amazing. Keep going.
James, you are always the hug guy.
I am the hug guy. That's my brand. Okay, so let's actually get into our tips because I know that's what everyone is here for. And we have some really good ones today. Jenny, do you want to kick us off with the first one?
Yes, absolutely. So the first tip, and this might sound a little surprising, is this: stop trying to be perfect. And I know some of you are already a little uncomfortable hearing that because a lot of learners feel like they need to be perfect before they can really speak. But here's the thing: perfection is actually the enemy of fluency.
Ooh, I love this. Say more, say more.
So think about it this way. When you speak your first language, do you think about every single word before you say it? Do you plan your sentences in perfect detail? No, right? You just speak. You let the words come out. And sometimes they are not perfect, and sometimes you say and you correct yourself, and that is completely normal. And the same has to be true in English. Fluency is not about being perfect. It is about being understood.
Yes. And you know what? This reminds me of something. A few years ago, I was on a trip and I tried to speak a little bit of the local language. I had learned maybe 100 words, which is not very many. And honestly, my pronunciation was terrible. But every time I tried, people were so happy and so kind. Nobody laughed at me in a mean way. They were like, oh, you're trying. That's great. And that changed something for me. It made me realize that people are not waiting for you to be perfect. They just want to connect.
And that is such an important point. Most of the time, people are not judging you the way you think they are. When you make a small mistake, the other person probably doesn't even notice, or they understand anyway, or they just appreciate that you are trying. We are much harder on ourselves than other people are on us.
We are so much harder on ourselves. Like, I once spent 3 days feeling embarrassed about something I said in a meeting, and my friend was like, I don't even remember what you said. 3 days, Jenny. 3 days.
James, that is so human. We all do that.
Okay. Tip 2, you'd want to take it or should I?
You take it. You're on a roll.
Okay. Tip 2 is practice speaking even when you are alone. Now hear me out because I know this sounds a little strange, but this is one of the most powerful things you can do. Talk to yourself in English out loud. I am completely serious.
This is actually backed by psychology, by the way. The more you hear your own voice saying English words, the more natural it feels. It builds what's called muscle memory for speaking, so your mouth and your brain get used to forming English words and sentences.
Exactly. So like when you wake up in the morning, you can describe what you're doing. I am making coffee. The coffee smells really good. Today, I have a lot of work to do. Just simple sentences. Or if you want to practice something more specific, you can practice conversations you know you're going to have. Like, you know you have to speak English at work tomorrow? Practice that conversation tonight. What will they say? What will you say back?
It's like a rehearsal for real life. And I think some people feel a little embarrassed to do this, like talking to yourself out loud feels weird. But honestly, it is one of the best kept secrets for language learning. So many polyglots, meaning people who speak many languages, talk about this as one of their top techniques.
And also, can I just say, talk to your pets if you have them. My dog does not speak English, he does not speak any language, but I talk to him all the time and he looks at me like I'm the smartest person alive. That is very encouraging.
Your dog is doing more for your confidence than most language courses.
He absolutely is. Good boy. Okay, tip 3. Jenny, this one's yours.
Okay, so tip 3 is focus on communication, not on grammar. And this is a big mindset shift for a lot of people because so many learners have studied English in school where grammar was everything. You got points off for every mistake, and that creates this fear of making errors. But in real life, in real conversation, the goal is communication. Did the other person understand you? Did you understand them? That is the goal.
Right. And I mean, how do I put this? It's like imagine you were driving a car and you were so focused on checking every single mirror and every single button and every single rule that you completely forget to actually look at the road. Like you crash because you were so worried about doing everything perfectly that you couldn't just drive.
That is actually a very good analogy. I'm impressed.
Don't be too impressed. It just came to me.
Speaking naturally is the same idea. If you are using all your mental energy to check grammar rules, you have no energy left to actually have the conversation. So let yourself make mistakes. Think of every mistake as information, not failure. It tells you something you can learn and improve later.
And here's something that helped me a lot. When I was learning, a teacher told me something I never forgot. She said, your first job is to be understood. Your second job is to be correct. In that order. And that just changed my whole way of thinking about speaking.
I love that. Your first job is to be understood. Say it again for the people in the back.
Your first job is to be understood.
Perfect. Okay, tip 4, and this one is really practical. Find a speaking partner or a safe space to practice. You know, one of the biggest reasons people feel not confident is because they don't practice speaking enough. And the solution is practice more speaking. I know, groundbreaking.
So simple and yet so true.
But seriously, finding a person you trust, someone who's patient and kind, to practice English with you can make a huge difference. This could be a friend, a tutor, a language exchange partner, someone online even. The key is that you feel safe with this person. You feel okay making mistakes in front of them.
Yes, and there are so many great apps and websites now where you can find language partners, people who want to practice your language and you help them practice English. It's a fair trade. It's like language friendship.
Language friendship, I like that. And the other part of this is even if you don't have a speaking partner, you can create a safe space in your life for English. Like maybe one meal a week, you only speak English, even if it's just with yourself. Or you join an English conversation club, online or in person. You create situations where English speaking is normal and expected, and slowly it stops feeling scary.
Okay, I want to add something here because, okay, real talk for a second. A lot of people say, but James, I don't have someone to practice with. I live somewhere where not many people speak English. I'm alone in this. And I hear that. I really do. And what I always say is, the internet is your language partner. Find YouTube channels. Hi, we're right here. Find podcasts, find online communities. You can even comment in English, type in English, think in English. Every little bit counts, every single bit.
Absolutely. Engagement in the language, even when it's not speaking, builds your confidence in the language overall. It all connects.
Tip 5. Ooh, I love this one. Use simple words and own them. This is something I feel really passionate about. So many learners think that to sound smart or fluent, they need to use big, complicated words. And I am here to tell you that is simply not true. Some of the most confident English speakers I have ever met use very simple, clear language, and they sound amazing.
There's a quote I love. I don't remember exactly who said it, but the idea is, if you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it well enough. Clear, simple language is a sign of real understanding, not a weakness.
Yes, so don't say something like, I am experiencing a considerable degree of uncertainty regarding the proposed agenda. Just say, I'm not sure about the plan. Simple, clear, done. That is beautiful English.
Experiencing a considerable degree of uncertainty. James, that was painful to listen to.
Exactly. Don't do that. Use the words you know and use them with confidence. I think. I feel. In my opinion. I'm not sure. I agree. That's interesting. These are simple phrases and they work in almost every conversation. Master the simple words first and build from there.
And honestly, simple words are also much easier to pronounce clearly, which is another thing that helps people understand you better. Win-win.
Win-win. Okay, tip 6, and this one is maybe a little unexpected. Jenny, you found some interesting stuff on this one.
Yes, so tip 6 is slow down when you speak. This is huge. When people are nervous, they tend to speak very fast because there is this feeling like I need to say everything quickly before I forget it or before I make a mistake. But actually, speaking too fast makes your English harder to understand, and it makes you more nervous, not less.
Right, because when you slow down, your brain actually has more time to find the right word, more time to finish the thought, more time to breathe. And breathing is important.
Breathing is fairly important, yes. And here's the surprising thing. Research on public speaking shows that people who speak slowly are perceived as more confident and more intelligent by listeners. So slowing down doesn't make you sound like you're struggling. It makes you sound like you know what you're talking about.
That is wild. So speaking slowly actually sounds more confident?
It does. Think of the great speakers, the people you hear and think, wow, they are really good at speaking. They almost always have a calm, measured pace. They pause, they take their time, and it feels powerful.
So next time you feel nervous and you want to rush through your words, just pause, take a breath, slow down. It will help you and it will make you sound more confident. I love that.
And pausing is okay. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to say, let me think for a moment, or that's a good question, before you answer. Native speakers do this all the time. It is not a weakness. It is normal human conversation.
Ooh, this makes me want to go on a little tangent, can I?
When have you ever asked permission for a tangent?
Fair. Okay, so one of the things I tell people is to collect what I call buying time phrases. These are little phrases you can say when you need a moment to think. Things like, that's a great question, or let me think about that, or how do I put this? Or, actually. These phrases do two things. They give you time to think, and they make you sound natural and conversational. Because guess what? Native speakers use these all the time.
All the time. I use them constantly. It is completely natural to need a moment to gather your thoughts in any language.
So learn a few of those phrases, practice them until they feel easy, and then use them whenever you need a moment. It is a game changer.
Okay, shall we talk about tip 7? Because I think this is really important, maybe one of the most important ones.
Yes, hit us with it, Jenny.
Tip 7 is celebrate your progress, not just your perfection. So much of confidence comes from how you talk to yourself, right? And a lot of learners have this very unkind inner voice that says things like, "That was so bad. Why can't I do this? I'm so stupid. I'll never be fluent." And that voice, while I understand where it comes from, is not helping you. It is making everything harder.
The inner critic. Oh, I know that voice very well.
We all do, and the research on this is very clear. Positive self-talk and celebrating small wins actually improves performance over time in language learning and in many other areas. When you notice what you did right, your brain gets encouraged to keep doing it.
So after a conversation in English, even a short one, even an imperfect one, ask yourself, what did I do well? Maybe you used a new word correctly. Maybe you understood everything the other person said. Maybe you just did it without running away. That counts. That is progress.
Exactly. Progress is not always dramatic. Sometimes progress is, today I spoke in English for 2 minutes and I didn't panic. That is real progress. That deserves a celebration.
I like to literally say out loud to myself, "Good job, James. You did it." And yes, it feels a little funny, but it works.
It does work, and over time, those moments of self-encouragement build into real confidence. Confidence is not something you either have or you don't. It's something you build little by little through action and through the way you talk to yourself.
I want to write that on my wall. Confidence is something you build. Beautiful, Jenny.
Thank you. I have my moments.
Okay, I think we have one more big tip, and then let's do our little wrap-up. Does that sound good?
Perfect. Last tip, tip 8, and it ties everything together. Just start. I know that sounds too simple. I know some of you are thinking, that's it? Just start? But this is the real secret. You will never feel completely ready. You will never feel like your English is good enough. And if you wait until you feel fully confident before you speak, you will wait forever.
Because confidence comes after action, not before. This is the thing people get backwards all the time. They say, when I'm more confident, I'll speak more. But actually, it works the other way. When you speak more, you become more confident. You have to do the scary thing first, and then the confidence follows.
Exactly. And it gets easier. I promise you, every single time you speak English and survive, every time you have a conversation and the world doesn't end, your brain files that away as evidence that it is safe to speak, that speaking English is okay, that you can do this. And slowly, you build a new story about yourself. I am someone who speaks English.
I am someone who speaks English.
Ooh.
I love that. Say that to yourself. For real, I am someone who speaks English. Even if it's not perfect yet, even if you're still learning, it is true. You are. You are speaking English right now by listening to us.
That's actually a beautiful point. If you are understanding this conversation, this whole podcast, which we have done our best to keep in clear, simple English, then you are an English speaker. You are doing it. You are here.
Okay, I'm getting emotional. Jenny, are you okay?
I'm fine. I really care about this. I really want everyone listening to know that they are capable of this, and it's not as far away as it feels sometimes.
I think that's a wonderful note to land on, actually. Okay, let's do a quick recap before we say goodbye. 8 tips to feel more confident speaking English.
Number 1, stop trying to be perfect. Focus on being understood, not flawless.
Number 2, practice speaking out loud even when you're alone. Talk to yourself, your pet, your coffee cup, whatever works.
Number 3, focus on communication, not just grammar. Your first job is to be understood.
Number 4, find a speaking partner or a safe space to practice. Create opportunities for real conversation.
Number 5, use simple words and own them. Clear language is powerful language.
Number 6, slow down when you speak. It gives you time to think and it sounds more confident.
Number 7, celebrate your progress. Notice what you did right, not just what went wrong.
And number 8, just start. Because confidence is built through action, not waiting.
Wonderful. I think that's a really solid list.
I agree. And hey, one final thing before we go. If this episode helped you even a little bit, if it gave you even one thing to try, please share it with a friend who is learning English. You never know who needs to hear this today.
And as James said at the beginning, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on your podcast app. It helps more learners find us, and it means the world to us. We make this because we love it, and knowing you're out there listening makes every episode worth it.
Truly. Thank you so much for spending this time with us at the Learning Lab. You are wonderful, you are capable, and your English is better than you think. We believe in you. We really do.
Take care of yourselves. Keep practicing, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye!